Hi, I'm Leyla Acaroglu, and I want to give you an introduction to the disruptive design method, the three-part process of mining, landscaping, and building that anyone can implement in their creative or professional practice in order to be able to identify and actively intervene in the world to create more positive social and environmental change. I developed this method after years of teaching in innovation, working in environmental science, and finding the incredibly awe-inspiring concepts that are out there in the world already existing, such as systems thinking, gamification, and cognitive sciences, and taking all of these complex ideas and synthesizing them into an approach that empowers individuals to identify their sphere of influence and over time, through this iterative experimentation process, build it to be able to be more effective agents of change in the world. No matter what your current professional capacity is, there is always an opportunity for you to figure out where a problem can become an opportunity for change. Now, one of the critical things in the disruptive design methodology, which is the 12 parts that underpin the method, you don't need to know the entire methodology set to be able to do the method, but it does help, especially if you've got a quest for knowledge and you really want to figure out how some of these nitty-gritty complex theories build together to create an approach of understanding change making and the way in which we can use systems to the advantage of the greater good. So in the three-part process, we first mine. Mining is all about diving onto the problem. So in systems, we always look at going for substance over surface. And I'm sure that you and I could both agree that there are plenty of cases of good intentions not leading to great outcomes because people have just looked at the surface and they haven't dived down under the problem to look at the bottom of the iceberg where the majority of the mass is, holding up that tiny peak that you might see at the top. And so we really go through this process of mining the problem, where I say we learn to love the problem, we become intimate with it, we explore it, and we use a pretty traditional activated design research approach to really figure out what's going on. But what the difference is here is that we are going to move into a systems thinking phase in the landscaping. And so in our mining phase, we're really pulling out all the different elements, what we call nodes, in order to be able to then come to the next phase of landscaping what's going on. That's building a map. I like a map of a city, but we build it of a problem set to understand all the different actors, agents, elements, the components, how all these things are all fitting together to create this problem set that we're working in. Because ultimately, things are way more complicated than they see on the surface, and we know that. So we mine it, we bring it up, we landscape it, and then once we've done that, we're in this incredible empowered position to be able to take a bird's eye view of everything that's going on that we've been able to uncover with our resources, whatever we've had available to us, to then be able to start to identify potential intervention points within this system. And the fascinating thing is, it's not usually the most obvious parts of the system that will have the most change. So the big obvious bits that we always think will solve a problem, when you actually look at it from a systems perspective, it's like, oh, that's just a symptom of a sicker system. So we need to really know where to go and create the right pressure in order to shift it. And this is the coolest thing about systems thinking, is that you often can create the biggest change with the smallest input, but at the right point. And so that's why we do this landscaping phase. So we've developed all of these intervention points. It might be 1, it might be 100. And it's from those points that we've identified on our map that we start to build our solutions. And this is why the disruptive design method is so unique and different to other approaches of solving complex social and environmental problems through a creative practice, is because we are actually really holding this entire practice together through the very powerful tool of systems analysis to be able to then come in with the creative approach of ideation, which I guarantee you, even if you think you're not creative, after learning about ideation theory, you will be able to do it and do it well. And especially if you've done all this other work, because it gives you all of this very strong, tangible elements that you can start to pull together to be able to build your intervention potential on all of these intervention points you identified on your map. And in that building phase, you really start to push ideas out. And then once you have tangible ideas, you iterate on them, creating activated solutions that you amplify out into the world. And that, my friends, is the disruptive design method for activating positive social and environmental change in the world around you. No matter how small or big your sphere of influence is, no matter where you work or what you do or where you live, every single human on this planet has the potential to equip themselves with the knowledge that will enable them to activate the kind of change they want to see in the world. And unfortunately, right now, we have a crisis of agency where people think that they have no power. But I disagree. Everybody has the power to do something other than maintain the status quo. And so, in these times of incredible change, we should participate in the direction that change is going to go through having the right mental skills, through being able to think dynamically, reflexively, divergently, and productively about what kind of alternative futures we could have. And so the disruptive design method and the full methodology set is designed to help empower anybody to do that. And I really do hope to see more activated change makers out there in the world challenging the status quo so that we can make this beautiful planet work better for all of us.